Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
From Sal Champi Field at Boomer Esiason Stadium, the boys from Massapequa have made the trip across the border to take on East Islip. Should be a fun one between the Chiefs of Massapequa and the Redmen of East Islip, a non-league game with a lot of bragging right implications. Well, a pleasant good afternoon. I almost said this evening.
I know.
But day turning into evening, certainly during this game. Dylan Butler alongside Tom Rooney for this one. And Tom, as we said in the open, should be fun, right? Two teams that have championship aspirations, two teams with just the one loss on the year, both teams with a lot of offensive firepower, great goalies. Should make for a really fun matchup.
Yeah, these are really two of the top programs on all of Long Island. Massapequa, a county finalist last year, looking to get over the hump, and obviously East Islip got there last year, wins the Suffolk County title, and now have bigger aspirations in the LIC. And you're talking about great offensive players all over the place, guys who are going to the next level, and two goalies that are fantastic.
And some of the best young talent as well. We're going to see a lot of sophomores, freshmen, juniors all stepping up. So mark this game down because these are guys you're going to see for the next couple of years. Let's take a look first at Massapequa, right? 7-1 on the season. We saw them very early on the year with a win over Southside. Just again, the one loss, and that was to Cold Spring Harbor. They responded in a big way with a win over a Wantagh team that beat East Islip, if you want to talk common opponents. But some terrific players from Massapequa, two guys that we're going to talk about here today, Tom. Certainly Matt Pettis, a great two-way player, as well as Harrison Heckman, who will have a heck of a matchup this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll start with Pettis. I mean, Pettis is one of the best athletes on Long Island. He can do it all. You're going to see him on the wings. You're going to see him play D-midi. And this year they've really kind of let him go and play a whole bunch of offense, and he's a talented kid. And Heckman has really stepped up. Justin Farrell, the young defenseman, has kind of been the defensive number one, and Heckman has come out of the gate here and had a wonderful year, and he's going to have his hands full with these East Islip offensive players.
Yeah, no doubt about that. As we take a look at East Islip, they are 5-1 on the season. We were here for their opening game that lost to Wantagh, and also it's a team that has responded well to that adversity, right? They've won 5 games in a row. That was a team that early on battling some sickness, some illness, so they didn't have the depth they have now, but certainly a really talented East Islip team coming off of a county championship, looking to continue to push. And two guys that are helping to push them there are Ryan Parker and Brandon Rizzuto.
Ryan Parker is one of the best middies still on the island and probably beyond. He's very similar to Pettis, and he's a two-way guy. You're going to see him all over the field. Really talented kid, headed to Rutgers. And Brandon Rizzuto is one of a number of defensemen on this team that can really get after it. And they're going to have their hands full with this young Massapequa group on offense.
So those are our impact players. Let's meet the starters for both of these teams. First, for the visitors from Massapequa. And we mentioned again the Chiefs come in at 7-1. We'll take a look at their starters. And again, a young team. There is a little bit of a change, as we'll mention here, but up front, as dynamic as they come, right? A team that shares the ball. Wieserak, Spallina, and Burns. Your first midfield of Tucker, Pettis, and Gargiulo. We mentioned Hecklin before. And then your close D of Farrell, Krieg, and Gilchrist. And in the cage, listen, we are blessed to have a terrific matchup in the cage. Michael Gennady, the leader for Massapequa.
Gennady, following in his brother's footsteps, is just an excellent goalie. Plays his angles fantastic, but really has some of the best hands out there.
All right, so let's meet the starters now for East Islip, as both teams are getting set here for the start of this one. And again, some changes here as well. Tommy Zuma wasn't quite sure about a few spots, but when we talk about youth, how about we're going sophomore, freshman up front with Madden, Hannigan, and McEntee. We mentioned Parker before, Kalinowski, and Black. Your LSM, Grant Weiss, and then McCaffrey, Rizzuto, Kinnear, and Drew Walendowski, right? Heading to Villanova, a terrific goalie for East Islip. So we'll take a quick break for the anthem, and we'll have the start of this one when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter!
As West barks out the signals. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside!
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.
Back here at East Islip, Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media staff. There's a good look at first-year head coach from Massapequa, Kevin Catalano, MacArthur 09 graduate. He's got a terrific young team, was a JV coach for a number of years. On the other side, guy who's built this program for East Islip into a perennial powerhouse. Tommy Zumo, Islip 01 graduate, his fourth season at the helm here at East Islip. We'll take a look, Tom. We spoke with both head coaches at our keys to the game in this one.
Yeah, I think when you talk to Coach Catalano, the biggest thing is completing 4 quarters. The one loss they had, they kind of felt like they gave one back to Cold Spring Harbor late. They're doing a much better job on defense. They feel like they have to stay on their assignments in order to win this game, and then just keep sharing the ball offensively, something they've done really well. And when you talk about East Islip, they have some real firepower. They got to stay efficient, stay away from some bad shots, control the time of possession, and then they want to just be really solid in front of Walendowski. He's so good, right, that you just got to play good positions and let him see shots.
Yeah, and you mentioned Massapequa and the shared offense, it's pretty remarkable, right? 72% of their goals are assisted goals this year, right?
That's
that
awesome.
speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And the efficiency number you mentioned for East Islip, right? They want to be in the 40% range, and that means of their possessions, where do they get the goals? You go to the face-off X now, too. Younger guys doing it as well, and well, actually, Ken Fora, the senior, you see his numbers on the year, really good for East Islip. And then Colby Roberts on the other side. Struggled against Cold Spring Harbor, but bounced back in a big way against Wantagh.
Yeah, he had a really nice game the other night, and this is going to be a great battle. Confora was much improved over last year.
And the first possession will go to Massapequa.
Going to get a good look at this Massapequa offense right away, and you see Pettis picking up the ball. You know, this is a team that really thrives on this attack. This young attack is so talented. They got to find ways to give them opportunities.
The guy they're missing is both literally and figuratively their quarterback, Joey Diesso, quarterback, of course, of the Long Island Championship football team at Massapequa. A little bit banged up. We're unsure if we're going to see him today, so Tucker steps into his spot on this first line midfield.
Yeah, and it's hard to replace a kid like Diesso. He has such experience with the ball in his hands, whether it's a stick or a football, it doesn't matter. But, you know, banged up a little bit right now. Great defense right there by East Islip.
Yeah, really good defense for EI. That's Jack Kalinowski.
Yeah, Kalinowski played a lot of defense for them last year, has really emerged as a two-way guy. That was excellent.
So now EI with their first settled possession.
The guy that's jumped out to me, Dylan, on this first group has been Black. Braden Black has been really good for them, wins a lot of matchups, normally gets a short stick, and he's done a good job.
Kalinowski tries to feed the crease, looking for Hannigan. In and out of his stick, ground ball battle, and it goes to Pequa. Good GB picked up there by Justin Farrell.
Yeah, good look, just couldn't really control it inside. Hannigan in a little trouble there, and now East Islip on the ride.
Yeah, turning to the outside, Ryan O'Connor. We'll see a lot of O'Connor along with Heckman at that LSM. Heckman earlier this year, more a close D guy, but Catalano liked the matchup with Parker there.
Yeah, that's a great job by O'Connor, by the way, getting out of a double team, getting it down the side, and clearing that ball early here for Massapequa.
So now the Chiefs, their second possession.
And it looks like we will get a little look at Joey Diesso. He's going to give it a go here. He's at the top of the box.
There is Diesso spins.
Yeah, you wonder if, he didn't pull the trigger on that. You wonder if he's just trying to manage right now and see where his body is at.
Here's Pettis looking to go downhill. Pettis! The spin and the finish. And Massapequa with the 1-0 lead.
Don't you love when we highlight a guy in the open, Dylan, and he comes out early and makes us look smart? Right here, you see this little change of direction, puts his foot in the dirt, gets a step, and then a really good job of changing his level, getting on top of that ball, and no shot for Wellandowski.
And I think he needed to do that too, because I think Weiss was playing really good defense on him, so he needed to create the separation, which he did. And for Pettis, a guy who will play short stick D midi at Albany, the workhorse with his 9th goal of the season.
Yeah, I think he's trying to change some minds right now.
Yeah.
Get a good look at Ryan Parker here. You see him just even coming out of the box, his speed and how much attention that Massapequa is going to pay to him.
Yeah, he is the alpha for EI. Parker spins, turns to his right, fires wide of the cage. A year ago, really banged up, didn't play a ton. But now he's healthy and very much the leader of this team. Owen Madden, our first look at him. Again, starting in place of Ethan Bernardos. Had a little bit of a tweaked groin, uncertain if we'd see him swim for Parker. And there's that matchup, right? Heckman and Parker. The dump down low again, looking for Hannigan. And the loose ball goes to Pequa.
Yeah, great job there by Heckman on Parker. Parker tried to squeeze one in there, and a nice job by Pequa getting it out.
So those are literally two of our impact players matching up as well, right? We
Yeah.
love when that happens. Forced feed to the crease, knockdown. And now here comes East Islip the other way. It's Vinny Fantuzzi.
Yeah, it looked like the ball, Rocco Splina there with just a little indecision. It kind of flew out of his stick. I think it's going to be interesting, Dylan, to watch this young attack of East Islip. We mentioned it's a sophomore and two freshmen go up against this physical group of Massapequa defenders. I think they're going to go out and challenge them. And you see East Islip right away getting away from the poles and trying to invert a little bit.
And what's no doubt a positive is what a great move to the cage by Black. And that was saved by Gennady. We come the other way. Numbers for Massapequa. The lefty rip. Walendowski. The denial up high to rob Tyler Burns.
Yeah, that's a great matchup from a big-time shooter right to a big-time, goalie right there. Burns can really bring it, and Walendowski was up for the challenge.
But what I was going to say, Tom, was what you got to love if you're a Zumo is, yes, you've got two freshmen and a sophomore on attack, but your entire first midfield, they're all seniors as well. So a good balance there between the lines.
Yeah, and I mentioned Black, a little bit earlier, how I liked what I saw earlier this year. He's kind of grown in his role, and you saw it there. He got a good look, but Gennady made a great save.
Another save by Gennady, denying Kalinowski.
Yeah, Gennady is so good. He plays that high arc. Really got to work hard to beat him. You're going to see Dylan. He's at the top of the crease at times when he sees a shot coming.
Berlin back up top to Kalinowski. What was his number last game? 22 saves against Wantagh.
Yeah, when he gets hot, he's really difficult to solve.
Kalinowski top side, sneaks it in.
Yeah, right on cue, huh? I'd like to get a look at it, Dylan. It might have been a deflection.
And here it is.
Yeah, great job of getting to the middle of the field, and it might have bounced off the pipe. When you look in the paper the next day, it just says goal. That's all that matters. So, good job by East Islip right there.
In 20 years' time, Kalinowski's like, that dude in the PLL, I went low to high. I had two guys on me.
They're always better in the story.
Nice face-off win for Roberts.
Yeah, Roberts is really getting comfortable there, handling the ball better. That's half the battle. And you and I were lucky enough to see guys like, Melkonian last year and Gerard the year before. It's not just about winning the draw. It's about handling the ball afterwards and being athletic enough to get it to your offensive guys. Good job by Roberts.
And that guy, more than a few years ago from Massapequa was Angelo Petrakis, right? And you haven't had that dominant guy really at the face-off X since. But Roberts, a young dude, nice move to the cage. Walendowski, the denial up high. Late flag, though. The shot was by Tucker. Good save by Walendowski, but I think we might have got a push into the crease.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Fantuzzi here for maybe a late hit here. High. Let's see. Tucker goes under. Yeah, it looks. I think they're throwing it on Fantuzzi, but I think you're right. I think it was his buddy.
We take a look at the call. Certainly, Zumo disagreeing with the judgment.
Yeah, those are tough when you're playing D and a guy dives. You're going to take the body on a guy at a certain level, and then he gets underneath you. It almost makes it really difficult to stay off his head.
Yeah, to that point, this is going to be locked in here. So it's a cross check, and it was a high one. So I think unfortunate, right, for Fantuzzi because Burns dives towards the cage, but this is locked in for a minute for Massapequa.
Yeah, and this is a very good man-up team. You have a lot of options here with Spallina and Burns and Weiserach, you have guys who can really bring it.
The skip pass, good knockdown. That was Grant Weiss. The GB, though, picked up, possession maintained by Massapequa.
Good job by East Islip getting rebalanced there. Those quick restarts off ground balls can sometimes get you.
And again, Weiss active, right? The look was to Spallina, but Grant Weiss with the knockdown.
Little indecision here from our refs. Looks like they're going to say no tip there. It's going to be East Islip ball.
So Waldowski, both goalies really excellent in the clearing game. Gets it to Kalinowski. And this will be still man down, and now we will be even for EI. So good job there managing that situation for East Islip and getting the kill.
Yeah, dodged a bullet earlier. Good job with sticks and passing lanes. And now we got one of these young attackmen with a short stick behind.
And that was Connor McAtee again. That one forced into the teeth of the Pequa defense. Big ground ball picked up, though, by Black. Kalinowski! What a rip, his second. And East Islip takes a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, great job here. Madden delivers this pass right to Kalinowski's stick. And watch how he kind of runs into the pass, and he does it on the move here, whereas defender is just going to trail. You're going to see Madden here take the ball, puts it right into the stick, and he's a step in front of his man on that, just a soft cut, moving to the ball, and then he can really bring it.
Kalinowski, the Stony Brook commit, his 12th goal of the year. And Roberts, again, wins it to himself. And good job by Pequa. Certainly the recognition by Catalano that Roberts was under duress.
Yeah,
so,
he had Parker all over him.
Yeah, so they call the timeout, does Massapequa.
Great start.
Yeah, fun one here. And take a look at some of the guys for East Islip playing on the next level.
Yeah, Matty McAtee was a guy we watched a lot last year. He was tremendous. And, you see this group, a really good group of kids. And McAtee probably the headliner, being up at Syracuse. But, this is Tommy Zumo's, growing process of this program. And McAtee was really the first guy to come through with him. Some excellent players there.
And that's not it, though, for East Islip, right? They've got a little pipeline going to Adelphi as well.
Yeah, Adelphi is probably here scouting this game, right? I mean, they got a ton of alumni from these two schools, and you see these three young men who, all won a national championship with Adelphi last year as they won the D2 national championship. Great spot, Adelphi for, young men who want to get high-level lacrosse and stay at home, and these guys were able to, get a national championship ring.
Did Ryan Soper tell you to say that, by the way, about Adelphi?
He loves Adelphi.
He does. The only thing that was different from when he reads these and he mentions Adelphi, and then when you read it, his always ends with a go Panthers. But
Yeah.
So off the timeout, Massapequa looking to respond to those two Kalinowski goals. And there is Diesso.
Yeah, Diesso's so good from behind here with his vision. Looks like they're going to run a little set play.
He's got Fantuzzi on him. And there's Pettis. He's got the lone goal right now for Massapequa. Go behind the cage now. Spinning. That was a pass attempt. Good pickup. And it has been a struggle for Massapequa. Right, a little bit sloppy early on, Tom.
Yeah, this East Islip defense is all over them right now. Someone on Massapequa's got to win a matchup. Burns with a good job right there.
Yeah, good look to Tucker, who fires high.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, East Islip's very, very aggressive on the ball. has done a good job. They kind of have Massapequa a little out of sorts right now.
8 on the shot clock.
Burns, a big body kid, 6'3", headed to UMass. You could see him right now looking to feed over the top.
Finds D'Esso, and climbing the ladder was Walendowski. And here comes Parker.
This is dangerous. He's really good here.
Parker, save! Rebound is loose in front, and it's shoveled in.
Hannigan, I think.
So EI off the rebound and scramble in front. They take a 3-1 lead.
Well, we know Parker's a great football player. That's like a punt return right there as he heads down the field. And you can see him twisting guys around. This ball's loose. Hannigan.
Oh, little BTB.
There you go.
Well done.
Gotta love it. Gotta be crafty in there. You know you're going to get hit. You got to get the ball out of your stick as fast as possible.
And that's something that Zumo loves about Hannigan. Says, he's always been the IQ guy, right? And now he's got to take on the weight of scoring a little bit more this year.
Well, you got to be good when you get brought up as an 8th grader, but when you're really undersized as an 8th grader and you're still playing, it tells you how good you are, and that's been Sean Hannigan here.
Ryan O'Connor. Stick check from behind. I think it was Weiss, and now we come back the other way. Actually, it was Billy Bast with that stick check.
East Islip has done a really good job of pressing out and making it really difficult for Pequa to clear the ball cleanly. And right there, you saw O'Connor did a pretty good job of getting out of trouble, and then he gets trail checked. Black.
Bet on Black. The Cortland commit fires from distance, all EI early on.
I always say lefties get left. You scout a team and you say he's a lefty. They always seem to find a way, and you look at Black here. He squares them. He's going left. I mean, I would say he probably goes left 90% of the times. He gets there and just an absolute rocket into the corner.
The 11th goal of the year for Braden Black.
East Islip looks the part right now, Dylan. They are rolling. They got guys. We haven't even heard from Parker yet, but we might right here. This is dangerous.
Parker fires just wide.
He loves that. He loves that opening, that little unsettled. He's so good at it. We mentioned he's going to Rutgers. Rutgers plays that NASCAR system. They want to play with numbers. Coach Brecht, a Sachem guy, Coach Brecht, he loves playing that style.
Off the restart, Madden feeds the crease. Missed the mark, trying to get it to Hannigan. So Pequa, they need a goal, and now you see the ride for EI.
Yeah, this is giving Pequa trouble. Nice job there.
That was Tucker. Hands off to Burns. And now we'll restart Brandon Perticone, the senior, number 2. And there's D'Esso. Game time decision was what we were told for Joey D'Esso. And he's had a regular shift here in this first quarter.
Yeah, I think he loves Varsity Media. He loves hearing you call his name, so he's down for it.
Tucker blew a tire. Perticone, the GB, at midfield. 37 seconds left in quarter number 1.
Another possession here where Massapequa just can't seem to get into their offense and get comfortable. Really good job by East Islip right now.
Low to high, Tucker. Not a great angle for him there.
It looked to me earlier that they were trying to push out on Wieserock, trying to deny him the ball. Let's see if he pushes the cage here.
And again, the Poles, man, they are so active, getting sticks in the passing lane. That was Justin Manfredi.
Great job by the East Islip Poles. That's got to be the 3rd or 4th pass, right, that's been deflected.
And all numerous guys as well. Can EI get something late here? Low to low. Gennady says no. But what a terrific opening quarter for East Islip. And like I said, you go to that roulette wheel, right? You want to bet on Black.
Yeah, look at this. Big, strong power cradle and just unleashes it past Gennady.
East Islip 4-1 lead after one. You're watching it here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
We're back here at Sal Ciampi Field. Underneath that tent there was Brendan Wallace. He was holding on to a stick there for a while. No face-off to start. So the wonder was whether it was an illegal stick. And unfortunately, again, our vantage point up here is we don't get to see the signals, right? And so I'm not sure if there's communication down to the table, but
Well, it's not a man up, Dylan. It's they just awarded him possession, so it couldn't have been anything
like really egregious.
Yeah, really egregious is right. So, but I tell you, if you're Massapequa, the last thing you want to see is this group going downhill. There's Black again.
Well, this time he's like, wait a minute, I'm going to go right this time.
He heard me.
He did.
He, I called him all left basically, and he goes right. Good for you.
Hannigan, good feed. Parker parks it in the lower corner.
Yeah, we've been dying to call Parker's name. He's almost had a couple goals. This is a great little set piece, Dylan. Coming out of an out of bounds, right? They're gonna. Looks like Hannigan here is gonna feed Parker coming off the pick. Just great placement. When you catch a ball high and finish low like that, you're gonna score more times than not.
For Parker, goal number 14. How about those numbers, too, for the senior midfielder? 14 and 14. How about that for balance?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. He's just one of the when you're a midfielder, you got to be able to play offense like that, right? With your head up, moving the ball, but a little bit of defense and also finishing. And Parker's just a complete midi.
Nice face-off win by Confora. On the season, 72%. He's going to West Con, but he's a senior. I think if he was a junior right now, that would be a higher level.
Yeah, without a doubt. I love seeing guys like Conforo who worked really hard to change his body, get himself in great shape, and comes out as a senior, and he's just way better than he was a year ago. And West Con's a great school, and they're getting a really good face-off guy.
Here's Jake Berlin. Finds Madden back to Berlin. Zumo calls him white chocolate like old school Jason Williams. We come the other way now, though. Massapequa looking for something unsettled. Good recovery by East Islip. And it's back to Pettis. And too many numbers there. Flag was thrown. So 7 defending for East Islip right now.
This might be exactly what Pequa needs, get this offense going a little bit. You're going to try to get something out of a 6-on-7, but no matter what happens, look at Weiserock handle that. You know what happens, you're going to get the ball back. Great feed.
Yeah, Weiserock went down low for Spallina, fired over the cage, but the second man up opportunity now for Massapequa.
And you see Manfredi there. That's a big physical group of defenders for East Islip. Pequa's got to have to find a way to get Weiserock the ball in better spots, and Burns. Those guys are big enough to kind of feed over the top and use their physicality, win some matchups. Right now, they'd love to get a goal on this man up.
Yeah, just to stop the momentum for East Islip. And 25 is Sean Durnan. Oh, what a save! And the rebound pops up. Weiserock with the shot. And Walendowski, the magician.
Yeah, Weiserock really wanted to get a shot off. It was a good one, too. Walendowski, man, he is just so good.
As we said at the Open, blessed to have 2 really good goalies, 2 guys who will play on the next level as well, and 2 guys showcasing their skills here this afternoon. We talked about the guys currently playing college. A good look here now at the East Islip College commits so far. We mentioned Parker and Walendowski. Bernardo's not playing today, going to Sacred Heart. Right, and a place for everyone here.
Yeah, I mean, when you have this many college commits on a high school team, you know you're going to be really good, and they kind of have them in some great spots, right? Your face-off guy, your goalie, you got a midi in there, you got Bernardos, who we're not seeing because he's an attackman. There's really a lot of balance there, and no surprise East Islip is as good as they are with these commits.
And that's also part, right, of building a culture, building a program that Tommy Zumo is doing here at East Islip.
Yeah, when you win a championship, now that becomes the expectation, right? And they welcome it. That's why they wanted to play Massapequa here. He said, we want the test. We know they're good. They only get 2 non-leagues, so he could have played somebody else, spring break week, play somebody that maybe he'd get a lot of guys in, but he wanted Massapequa. He wanted this test.
And think about it, too, right? What was the other one? Wantagh.
Right.
So, I mean, those are 2 tests against teams that are either defending champions or, the number 1 team. As Parker spins off the timeout, little bouncer, and here's Black. Black to his left, fires wide.
Yeah, and you see Parker pick up the ball, and he's double-teamed, and most kids would have just, thrown it back to their goalie. He attacks the double team and actually draws an offside penalty. So now East Islip goes man up.
Yeah, 32nd man up for EI.
Now you got multiple guys here who can really bring it in Parker and that whole first midfield, Kalinowski and Black.
And here's Connor McEntee, right? Dad Tim was an All-American here. His cousin, of course, was Matt McEntee. Tim coached Dartmouth, Manhattan, Mount St. Mary's, Malloy. Now he's at Middle Country.
Yeah, Tim's one of those legendary guys in lacrosse. He's been around. He was a great player. And now you see the next generation, and probably helped watching his cousin be as good as he was. A nice look inside.
Low shot. Didn't reach Gennady. It was Madden with the attempt. But I think we're getting a push with possession. And they'll reset the shot clock for EI.
Yeah, Hannigan with a nice slick little pass inside. And he's done a nice job here today delivering the ball.
There he is operating from X. We're even. Here's Parker. What a first step by Parker. Creates the separation and then buries his second goal of this game. It wasn't man up, but it might as well have been.
Right. It was just releasing, so they did have numbers. But like that little burst, you know, we talked about what a great athlete he is, and you see
Watch
it right
coming
here.
up here.
Yeah, like boom, those 2-3 steps where he just gets by and gets his hands free. Fun to watch.
Now, he is the alpha of this team. The heartbeat, Zumo calls him. His second, a 6-1 lead for East Islip. Weiss battling. Yard sale. Ball is still loose. Havoc out here at South Champion Field.
Nice job, Rocco Spallina, gathering that ball. They need this possession. Pettis has got a short stick. They're going to find a way to get Pettis loose a little bit here and win some matchups.
That's Fantuzzi on him, but look at Fantuzzi. And Pettis trying to win it back. Great job by Fantuzzi.
Yeah, Fantuzzi with the little poke check to get the ball free, and then is able to hold on and clear that ball.
So there's Black now.
Yeah, they're resting Parker. They got Jake Berlin in. Black to his left.
Whew. Fires just wide.
And it looks like he's got Wieserock on him, which, you know, obviously an attackman, not all comfortable down there.
Brady Gilchrist there defending. Kalinowski goes, spins, gets it back from Hannigan. Here's Black. Step down, kick save by Gennady. He'll get it back. And he is so comfortable. I just jinxed him, of course. So comfortable clearing the ball, but a fortunate bounce for EI. Finds Tyler Burns. Burns fires wide. No backup. EI gets the ball back.
Yeah, good look for Burns. Good opportunity. You know, not terrible defense. I think it was one that he felt like he had to take, and unfortunately for Massapequa, just no backup there.
Terrific outlet from Walendowski as well. And here's Parker. Again, he'll draw Heckman.
Yeah, good matchup right here. Looks like they're going to run a little 1-4. Let Parker initiate, see if he can draw some attention, play off it right now.
He hands off. Now he sets the screen. Madden slings it. A little skip, a turn, and a shot wide by Parker.
Good job by Heckman getting that stick in late, preventing Parker from really getting a lot on it. East Islip's been really good in this out-of-bounds game, running a lot of set plays here, usually triggered by Hannigan. Let's see what they get.
Berlin. Bouncer. Looking for the inside roll there was McEntee. Nothing doing. Not forcing it. Back out to Parker now. Top side bouncer. Just wide.
Pretty good D right there by Massapequa. It's a good shot for Parker, but, you know, a little out of the range. I think Gennady's going to gobble most of those up. So let's see if Massapequa can just get settled on offense. They really have not had a good offensive possession.
And conversely, right, EI, 15 shots, 9 of 9 clearing.
Yeah, they look like the more comfortable team right now, a little more composed. And, you know, we know Massapequa has the weapons, and this is a good matchup right here.
Yeah, Burns against McCaffrey.
McCaffrey, who's a game-time decision, looks pretty good right now.
Burns tries the inside roll. The slide comes his way. He's got a handoff to Kitterman. And up top, it's DSO. Coming downhill, Luke Gargiulo. Dylan Milio. And that was an errant pass. Turnover, Massapequa.
Well, whoever coaches the East Islip defense is going to be talking about this first half for a while and showing this film. I mean, it has been excellent all the way around.
Well, I have the answer to that question.
Who is it?
That is Tim Cox, of course, right? 30 years at Bayshore. He is the DC of this team. Look at Walendowski.
He wanted a goalie goal.
Well, he went viral last year for the save that wasn't a save, that was robbery on David Desquie of Syosset, so he wants more viral moments, clearly. Here is Parker. Little hezzy, loses it, and the loose ball going to Massapequa. But even the ground balls, they're not coming easily for Massapequa. Flag on EI. This should be a trip.
Yeah, Parker maybe a little bit too much there. Got the ball poked away. And listen, Massapequa has to figure out a way to get their offense going. But right now it's the third man up. They got to figure out a way to get their man up going. They're too talented to not get better shots on the man up.
Correction, it was a push, so it's a 30-second man up for Pequa. Again, Massapequa, a team that came into this game averaging 11.8 goals per game, and of those, again, 73% assisted goals.
Yeah, East Islip winning a lot of matchups right now. So we'll see what they're looking to do, and I like that press out right there, kind of get them off their spots.
It's Bellina. Lost it. And credit Grant Weiss, right? The transfer back from St. Anthony's.
Great job by Weiss right there. Physical, kind of pinned the ball on one side and gives East Islip a chance to leg this out and, get away with another penalty. That's 3 penalties now that Massapequa has not made them pay for.
And that's the thing, right? If you're East Islip, you probably feel like if you want to or feel you need to, you can take liberties because you're killing them all off.
Yep.
Black to Parker.
Got a good look at Owen Madden down there. McAtee, Madden, and Hannigan have done a really nice job of handling the pressure.
And that went off the mark from Parker to Madden. Madden also coach's son, right? Dad Kyle, former football coach at Hills West.
I coached under him. I was on the JV staff when he was the varsity head coach. A fantastic high school.
So his
coach.
Varsity teams were so good because you had them coached up.
That's
going.
That's right.
Going to varsity.
That's
clearly. Right. Timeout for Tommy Zumo.
Shout out to Coach Miggs over there, the varsity baseball coach. He was the head JV football coach. He was fantastic.
So with possession, little tenuous there for East Islip. Good timeout. A chance to take a look now at Massapequa's current list of college commits. And if you're like, wait a minute, it's not a large number. Again, consider the fact these are so many young players, right, on this team.
Yeah, I think when we show this graphic next year, Dylan, they'll probably have 10 or more. But these are really high-level guys. And, Gennadi's the guy who's really interesting to me because I think he's a Division I type goalie and just found himself a great home, and that's where he wants to be. And Diesso is another guy that I think really highly of. I think he's got great vision. And then, Tyler Burns is going to be a wonderful lefty attackman at the next level. He can sling it. And Pettis, we talked about his two-way ability and probably more of a D-midi, but a super athlete.
So those are some of the Massapequa guys that we know will be playing on the next level. Off the timeout, there's a guy we know will also be playing on the next level, right? If you are a fan of Ryan Parker, you better order that Big Ten Network, right? Get that one, that app going. Big Ten Plus.
I like the way they use Parker in different ways. Sometimes he initiates, sometimes he's coming off picks, sometimes he's setting picks. You know, when you have a great player, the temptation is to always give him the ball, but they do a nice job of giving him just different roles to play.
And there is Parker. Again, it's Heckman on him.
And here's Black. Black's done a nice job today getting his hands free. Parker loves this spot.
Ooh, Parker, split dodge, fires just wide.
That's the evolution of Parker, too. That split to his left hand. Really good job.
Good look at Sean Hannigan. 5 goals, 21 assists on the year for Hannigan. Goes GLE. Low to low. McEntee the shot. Another save for Gennady.
Here's a good battle. Parker trying to beat Pettis in.
Pettis shovels it in! He took the contact and takes the glory, too.
Yeah, Pettis, we talked about what a great athlete he is, and this is where he thrives, right? Right out in the open field, and you're going to see him right here. This is a great hit by Parker, borderline in the back, and Pettis knows where the goal is. No chance right there. That's a great individual effort by Pettis, and maybe that sparks Massapequa here because they needed something. They were having a whole lot of trouble just getting their offense started. Great job by Pettis.
Both of Massapequa's goals scored by Pettis.
You called him a deep midi, Dylan, and I think the word got down there early.
That's what he played last year and what he's projected to play at Albany. I was certainly not taking a swipe at the kid, but
no,
whatever works.
Yep.
Arardi, excuse me, goes to X. That's Aiden Keaveney on him.
Yeah, East Islip playing the clock a little bit. What a feed.
Oh, and the bouncer wide by Hannigan.
They've run that little set play a few times, and whoever the cutter has been open. And there it is again.
Little Hezzy, the switch. Gennady, the save. Loose ball in front, and Gennady scoops it up. Quick outlet as well. That's Ryan O'Connor. And that's a failed clearance, but will come the other way. A little sloppy here in the final 30 seconds of the first half. That's Brady Gilchrist, now the junior. Gilchrist, nice pass and a chance here for Massapequa. They can get one, they can cut their deficit in half. It's Diesso.
10 on the clock here. Let's see if Diesso can make something happen. Looking for cutters.
Goes all the way up top with 4. Lefty rip wide by Burns. And 0.8 on the game clock. So Diesso will just try to send one in front.
Yeah, the old Hail Mary pass right here.
Well, we know he's got great vision. There's the pass, and doesn't find one of his teammates. But a good first half for East Islip. 6-2 the lead. And they've got a lot of different guys who have found the back of the net, or at least have been balanced among the 6 goals, 4 different goal scorers, including 2-4 here.
There he is, Ryan Parker, the guy who gets it going for them, their go-to guy, and he has showed up here today with a couple of goals, and we kind of feel like he's been all over the field for East Islip early here in the first half.
So East Islip with the lead, 6-2 at the break. We'll have some first half stats and more when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Back at East Islip, Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media crew. Tom, let's take a quick look at the first half stats, and you see certainly shots, right, very much favoring EI.
Yeah, EI has without a doubt been the more aggressive team. They've had more possessions and have had more quality looks, and if it wasn't for a few great Gennady saves, this could be worse.
Big thanks again to Mike Hungerford doing double duty from San Diego with those first half stats. I think he can now go and enjoy, like a mahi-mahi sandwich or something with a little avocado on the side? Or
yeah, he'll put
what do you eat in San Diego?
He'll put his sandals on, probably have a little fish taco. Yeah. Nice job, Hungy. Thanks, buddy.
We miss you. Here's Black getting the separation, fires wide of Gennady.
I've been really impressed with Black. We joked about him going left, but that's the third time he's gone to his right. He's obviously worked really hard to be two-handed, and he's a big body. Little set piece here. Massapequa defends it much better than they did in the first half.
Black on DSO bounces wide of the far post. The sloppy first half, right? Massapequa 10 turnovers. East Islip with 6.
Yeah, I think you had, two good groups of athletes. Here's Black. Oh.
In and out of his stick. Pettis, the GB.
Got numbers here if Heckman can track it down. Oh, it's O'Connor.
It is O'Connor. The feed, the one more. DSO denied up top. Walendowski off to the races.
That was a really good look. Great pass by Burns to the trailer. DSO and Walendowski just tracking it. Dylan, it was a quick halftime. I feel like, I don't know if either team was really ready to come back out. We've seen the ball on the ground a bunch, drop passes.
Kalinowski got things started in the first half for EI. As far as the individual scoring, you got Parker and Kalinowski with 2 apiece. Hannigan and Black with 1 each. Here's Black again, trying to get topside. Slide comes his way. Ooh, a bouncer.
Yeah, that had Gennady going down. That's a good job by Black. Here's another one of these out of bounds. We'll see if East Islip can get a look. They're just going back to Black. They feel like he's winning this matchup.
Was that an AC/DC song?
Yeah.
Madden to Parker up top. Parker! Gennady the save.
Great job there by Gennady on that pass right away. And
when you consider, Tom, all the shots, right, that East Islip has taken, you got to say, if not for Gennady, right, this one would be a lot more lopsided.
Without a doubt. Just watching the game, East Islip's had the better of the play, more shots, right? But Gennady has made 2 or 3 of those where it was a really good look and he stole it. And if not, this game could be a lot worse.
Oh, trying to get the dunk far post. That worked in game 1 against Southside. And just kind of speaks to kind of what's going on right now for Massapequa. Right, you get a defender on skates. You have an open look. You try to find Spalina at the back post, unable to make that connection.
Yeah, and that's, one thing that Rocco Spalina does really well is finish the ball. He's had a game where I think he had 9 goals this year, so he knows how to finish. Just can't seem to connect today, or just yet. Let's put it that way.
And that's the thing, right, for Massapequa. The what you said at the end is so important. Yet they have so much firepower. We've seen it before. you just, like, they need something. Maybe a pole goal, maybe something, a juice moment maybe.
I mean, they're playing hard. They're trying. Oh, they got numbers here.
Pettis shovels it. Low shot, and it's in. Burns gets the goal.
What a crafty play by Pettis. It starts with Gilchrist tracking it down. Gilchrist had big eyes. It looked like he was going to go to the cage. Ball gets knocked out of his stick, and he's able to shovel it over, get it over to Pettis with a crafty. Watch this shovel pass right here by Pettis. Whoop. Right over to Burns, coming to the ball, and a good finish low.
The UMass commit, the big lefty, his 12th goal of the year. It's now 2-1 for Pettis. Back to the face-off X.
Yeah, is that the spark, right? Is that the spark that gets this Pequa group going? Nice job by Heckman on the ground ball.
Yeah, but Weiss gets him from behind.
Yep.
A rugby scrum. Guys pinballing around. Somehow it falls back to the face-off guy, Roberts.
Great job by Roberts. We got another chance.
And a low finish by Wieserak. And Pequa are back.
It's a game of runs, Dylan, and it looks like Pequa finally woke up. We talked about Roberts' ability, not just facing off, but being able to handle the ball. He comes out of the scrum, gets it to Spallina, and Wieserak with a great finish. Not easy for a guy that size to get the ball that low from that tight end.
This sport's amazing, right? You can go for an entire half without carrying a chance, and within a few seconds, you get back-to-back goals, and you're within 2. Wieserak is 14th of this season. Spallina picks up assist number 5. And again, the scrum goes this time to Parker.
Oh, what a look by Hannigan.
And there's the pole goal, Grant Weiss.
Oh, man, this starts with the Parker ground ball. This is probably the 3rd assist, I think, for Hannigan. What a look, and Weiss on the trail. Great job. Let's see the replay coming up here. But Parker digs out a ground ball, gets it down to Hannigan. Hannigan playing with his head up. A little no-look to Weiss. That's one way to stop a run.
Yeah, Hannigan, great look. 22nd assist. And how do you respond to a run? You get your own juice moment, right? Large Tropicana, says Grant Weiss.
And I'm glad I said not yet, because Pequa now obviously has their legs underneath them and has some juice. And
a little swagger right now, it feels like, right?
Yeah.
There's DSO. And what do we see there too, right? Their first goal, 2 goals of the second half, assisted goals as well. That's more of Massapequa lacrosse. The skip pass. Wow.
Parker. That's toughness, man.
Tom, that wasn't an accidental eat, right? Like, he jumped and turned to block that shot.
And Nolan Wieserak can bring it. I mean, that's a big kid winding up. Parker's tough as heck.
It's like Stanley Cup playoff blocks, right?
Yes, yeah, exactly. You see Parker come off, man, that's got to hurt.
So Wieserak. Will he get the inside roll? Spins. Tries to get DSO in and out of his stick. So we'll reset now with Burns.
Burns got a short stick.
DSO, high bouncer.
Looks like DSO might have hurt his shoulder a little bit on that shot.
And Wieserak. Shot clock, yeah, DSO unhappy there. He takes a seat on the bench. Again, came in as a game time decision, as did a few of these EI guys as well. Both teams with a couple of players we were uncertain of their status.
Yeah, mid-season you start getting banged up a little bit, bumps and bruises and some pulls, and you got to kind of play through them unless you can. It looks like D'Esso might be on the can't right now.
Here's Black. Beats his man. Black saved. Rebound back. And Gennady scoops it up.
Pequa settling in a little bit now. Another save for Gennady. They're hanging around enough to make a run at this game. East Islip's got to find a way to get back into that rhythm they had in the first half offensively.
Pettis crosses over. And he'll get the ball.
Pettis seems to be in the middle of every time Pequa goes on a run. Tough matchup, good athlete. Tucker with it now, but it looks like we may go some two-man with Pettis.
Gets it from Tucker. And now Pettis on Billy Bast. Tough pass into the crease. Gargiulo never looked comfortable to receive it. Wieserak. Wieserak!
Woo! That had some heat on it.
Massapequa goals for number 12, Noah Wieserak.
We talked about the Parker eat before on Wieserak, and you see why he was shaking his arm. This kid can really bring it. Big body, Dylan, right? He really gets his hands up and high, and he just hammers this ball. The extra crow hop as the defender fell beats Walendowski low.
These face-offs not for the faint of heart.
Now, good battle right there between Roberts and Conforo. That's a much-needed win for East Islip.
And now Fantuzzi to Parker. Gets it in, waits for his boys. Kalinowski and Black come out.
Yeah, and credit Massapequa. Their defense in the second half, much better on the set play pieces coming out of bounds. All over the East Islip hands, winning a lot of matchups. Stuff they weren't doing early.
Black gets a step on Jason LaRosa. There's Kalinowski. Swims. Kalinowski low to high.
Kalinowski does a nice job of getting under there.
And that's a big-time matchup, right? You got Justin Farrell there. All County as a sophomore. Excuse me. He is a sophomore. All County as a freshman. Gennady again. This one just pushed ahead by LaRosa. And still sloppiness for Pequa. And a failure to advance.
Yeah. There was so much action we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but that was another Gennady save on a good look from Black.
Parker against Heckman.
That's been a great matchup all day. Heckman's done a nice job. Parker's gotten his, but Heckman has defended him well. We'll see how tired this Massapequa defense is, going right back, playing defense again after the failed clear.
That's Madden. Finds Parker. Parker downhill. Parker! Top shelf! It's a Hattie.
Sometimes we say good D, better shot, right? This is not bad defense by Heckman. Parker catches this. This is great offense as they swing the ball. He catches it in a really good spot inside the box. He's already at 15. He's able to get to a really tight angle here, a tight spot, and he just overpowers the ball, overpowers Heckman, blows it past Gennady.
His third. It's a 3-goal lead for East Islip. Robertson, Confora. The wing play so crucial And there is Roberts. Weiss again. His stick work has been outstanding. I was about to say, you wonder if we'll call a timeout here for Pequa, just because it has been so difficult, right, to get the clear. It's been frantic and hectic, and they do indeed call a timeout. Tom, let's take a look at our upcoming SPORTSCAST schedule. Got a fun one. Cold Spring Harbor and Wantagh, both teams coming off a loss. Cold Spring losing to a really good Rye team yesterday. Wantagh losing to Massapequa. Syosset and Farmingdale. Those games are always fun. So too are Chaminade St. Anthony's, right?
They're pretty good.
That's what I've been told. That should be really good as well. Port and Pequa, and then Southside Cold Spring Harbor. All these games right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Yeah, that Port Pequa game, they could be the two top teams in Conference A this year. I think it's a little bit of a toss-up, but Port is off to a 7-1 start. New coach Glenn Levy's really changed the culture over there. He's done a great job getting that team off to a wonderful start at Port.
Let's see what's upcoming here for Massapequa. No cupcakes, right? You're going to Garden City. A team in Nassau County certainly is the class right now of the public schools. We mentioned a Port game. Long Beach and Farmingdale, of course, we just showed you, right? Port and Farmingdale on the Varsity Media Sports Network. But GC off to a terrific start, as expected, as usual, right, for Garden City.
Yeah,
and no idea, too, Tom, if he's even watching this one, Steve Fennell, but we certainly send our thoughts to his daughter, Kyle, an outstanding player, torn ACL, out for her senior year at Garden City. She will be a beast at Northwestern, but it is so hard to have a season-ending injury, especially as a senior.
Yeah, our thoughts go out to her. It is rough, and you know, the one thing about that Garden City both boys and girls team, they have so many girls, and they'll have to step up and try to figure out a way to, you know, fill her role. Such a great player.
And they did right after it, and that injury came in an overtime loss at Darien, two of the top public school programs. What a save down low. Walendowski loose in front. Oh, an open shot there for Burns. He wants that one back.
Yeah.
He also wants a penalty, but neither are going to happen.
Yeah, Pequa playing fast there. They were able to intercept the ball going back to Walendowski. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, listen, you got to capitalize on those when you're facing Walendowski.
Wieserak, step down. Shot by Tucker. It was a good one. Tucker, the guy who's filling in for DSO on the first midfield, was a regular on the second midfield.
Yeah, good-looking feed, good-looking shot. Looks like East Islip trying to slow this down a little bit, going zone. Giving them a little bit of a different look.
What an interception. How many times have we called Weiss's name, right?
He's had a really nice game.
And Weiss right now playing keep away. Flag is thrown. He gets to the Parker.
I think we got another offsides. Kalinowski.
Kalinowski! It started with Weiss to Parker, and this will be an and-one because it'll be a 1-minute slash against Massapequa.
Yeah, it starts with Weiss. Just great instincts, picks off the pass. Looks like he got a little tired as he came down the field. He knew throw the ball to Parker, who gets it over to Kalinowski. He's not going to miss from there.
Kalinowski was the fire starter in that first half. He picks up his third goal. Parker the assist. So both Parker and Kalinowski, 2/3 of your first midfield line with 3 apiece.
So hard to defend these guys when they're in transition and on the run. So much easier when it's 6-on-6. Not that it's easy, but just easier. And Kalinowski is another guy who runs really well, really good athlete. And depending on how this faceoff goes, we may get a look at the East Islip man-up unit.
Yeah, so going in, Brady Gilchrist. Heckman will go down low, and a man-up face-off. If you are Ken Forer, you want to get it to the left, or even just behind. That's where Parker is. Ken Forer, the GB, and a big one. Gets it to Kalinowski, and now we will see the man up, and might be a quick one as well. The extra pass, pumping the brakes, Parker, and heads up play by Parker, right?
Yeah, that's the veteran group right there, realizing it's a good shot, but they could get a great shot on man up, so why not? And the other thing by holding this ball is you eliminate the face-off going into the fourth quarter, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. You got a 4-goal lead, why not?
And that's the IQ for Parker, right? Like if you take a shot, maybe it's a different situation. He didn't, and it looks like EI will have a 4-goal lead going into the break. Of course, Heckman will get his shots in as the quarter comes to a close. Listen, Tom, you know how I feel about pole goals.
You love them.
And I think Grant Weiss got the memo as well.
Yeah, you see Hannigan here, a little look off. And Weiss, great job running the field. And East Islip is running right now.
Yeah, Weiss, his first goal of the year. What a great time for it as well. EI leads 9-5 as we head to the fourth quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
And we start quarter number 4 with East Islip. Man up. Dylan Butler, Tom Rooney, our entire Varsity Media crew. Little hidden ball trick behind the cage. Why not? We're even. Look out from behind. And that was a hit from behind, so another penalty against Pequa. And that shot right into the cage, right into the netting for Gennady. And it was a situation where Luke Gargiulo, right, just trying to hustle back, get in, and then just, the clear case of a 30-second push.
Yeah, unfortunate there. He's thinking about trying to get a back check, and that was Black, the big body. He kind of just, hit his stick with his big body, and he runs him over, and they're able to get the 30 seconds back that they killed at the end of the third quarter to get a man up. So now I think we'll see East Islip run their full man-up complement.
Yeah, so it was a nice investment for EI there. you save yourself at the end of that quarter, and it pays dividends.
Yeah, they are tough on this. Hannigan does a great job of pushing both sides of the cage, very two-handed.
Did you see Parker there at the top, right? Just calling out where the ball should go. We have an equipment malfunction
Yeah, lost a shoe there in the middle of the field.
Connor McEntee. Shoeless Connor McEntee.
I tell you, McEntee and Madden have really handled themselves well, the two freshman attackmen. We haven't said their names a lot, but we also haven't said their names in any negative way, negative plays. They've handled the pressure, great presence. This is a good Massapequa defense that they've had to deal with.
And all super positive signs, right, for Zumo. I mean, he's not load a high shot by Madden, saved. You know, it's the old adage, right? If you're good enough, you're old enough.
Right.
In transition, Pettis pumps the brakes. The feed down low, the fake high, and the finish low. Wieserak. No, Wieserak was in the crease. Goal called back.
Our referee there, Brendan Wallace, hustling down the field for that call.
Yes, sir.
And listen, Pettis with another great look.
Rizzuto. Did we get a timeout or did we get offside? Offside, it says Brendan Wallace.
Oh, this is a quick restart here.
Little chaos. Oh, the finish! Spallina! That was dirty. And Zumo at midfield, incensed.
Yeah, he's saying that he called the timeout, but on the restart, Pettis with the head up finds Spallino with a great off-hip shot there. And Massapequa has just hung around enough here. It's a 3-goal lead. You feel like East Islip had the way better of the play, right? But it's not that 5-7 goal lead. It's only 3.
And you wonder how much of that is the Gennady factor, right? We mentioned it before.
But you just saw another save. It happened so fast, but the man-up save there by Gennady. I think we lost Hungy on the stats, but he's got to be in double digits now.
We should have had Soap tag in. That was our bad on that.
Yeah, Soap, come on. I'm talking about Adelphi. Soap should be listening.
He is. He said, do you need stats? I said, no, we got Hungy.
I tell you, those guys are great. They love the game of lacrosse, make this whole experience for the kids better. We all know the kids go home and they watch the replay of Varsity Media, and their family members who weren't at the game or watching it. Just makes a great experience for these guys.
Soap earlier for the Spalding St. Anthony's game, quoting an unnamed ACC coach. That is doing some homework as
Yeah.
Parker fires high over the cage.
He went deep into the contact list.
That's it.
To find out about Spalding.
Here's Hannigan.
Hannigan's kind of quarterbacked this offense here from behind. Does a really good job. Always playing with his head up.
And it's McEntee now. Got his shoes settled. Look at Hannigan. Love it. Inside roll. Hannigan! Have at it!
Forget about the quarterback. I'm the running back diving over the end line.
He's a fullback.
I mean, he can't weigh more than 140 pounds, and he just muscled his way. Here we go. Gets underneath, and the dive and the finish. He wanted it.
He initiated that contact to start things off.
That's great. Such a tough kid playing this game. You know, with that kind of physicality against bigger guys, you have to have a great mentality.
Kenfora back to Kalinowski. 2-2 now for Hannigan.
I feel like every time Massapequa has gone on a little run, East Islip has found a way to answer the bell.
And they've answered it with an emotional play, right? Grant Weiss, pole goal. Hannigan there getting the boys excited on the sideline. Black up top. So athletic.
This first midfield is tough. I mean, Parker, Kalinowski, and Black, they're just running a weave here. Good save, Gennady.
Yeah, left-handed shot by Kalinowski. There's Tucker trying to find Gargiulo. And it will be Burns to restart.
Yeah, Massapequa wanted to play fast there. Official making him get back to the spot. That helps the Islip get set up. Massapequa, though, playing, you could sense it, right? A little more urgency, understanding that this clock is ticking here. We're under 9 in the fourth. Oh, good shot by Burns. What a save.
Yeah, low to high. Walendowski to save. And if you look out by the sideline, Diesso not only pointing directions, but kind of begging the coaches, right? Like he wants in.
Yeah, I don't know in a non-league game if it's the smartest thing, but you're right. He's a competitor. He wants it. They got numbers here.
Black, save down low.
Now Massapequa could have numbers right here.
What an outlet. That's Justin LaRosa, or Jason LaRosa, excuse me. Wieserak, the dunk again, Spalina, unable to get it.
I think Walendowski got a piece of that. They're still scrambling here.
Wieserak. Now Pettis on. He'll roll it out for Tucker. Inside 7 minutes, 4-goal game. Tucker rang the bar.
Great shot. He actually had Walendowski beat.
That'll reset the shot clock, and look who's in the game.
Those pipes are goalie's best friends right
yes. There. Diesso back in for Pequa. Here's Pettis.
Yeah, Pettis wants to initiate this, and this, I like what Pettis does offensively. Drags guys out into that big space. He's great in the open field.
Tucker unable to shed that Justin Manfredi check. Manfredi goes pole to Billy Bast. And bringing the physicality was Burns. And Zumo's like, listen, I definitely called a timeout here.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Zumo was halfway down the field.
Timeout taken by Islip.
An opportunity here with 6:24 left to show you what's upcoming for East Islip. Kind of get now into your league slate, right? The ones that really matter for East Islip. Home for Miller Place. You go to Kings Park, Mount Sinai, and Comstock. Always a tricky one. We'll have that one for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Kings Park off to a great start. Jack Salva, their lefty attackman. I don't know, he's got upwards of almost 30 goals already this year. They've played really, really well. And Comstock is always difficult to play with that zone that Coach Mitchell runs.
We'll take a look at some of the next level guys from Massapequa, right? We showed the EI guys before. There's Ryan Wieserak up at UMass.
Yeah, they got a nice group, and I want to highlight Pat Radomski.
Yes.
That Siena team has been really good, and Pat Radomski was a young man. Obviously, his father was the longtime head coach here at Massapequa, and he's really blossomed into an unbelievable midi up there.
And he started as a true freshman, a big contributor a year ago, and continues to be so. And Anthony Malika, of course, also at Hofstra.
Yeah, having a nice year, Malika.
So off the timeout, there's Kalinowski. Will not have to go too far for his college lacrosse. Just has to head north on Nichols Road out to Stony Brook, which isn't always an easy task. Parker. Good job by Farrell.
Yeah, Farrell is tough. We haven't talked about him a lot. They don't dodge him a lot. But, I mean, all county as a freshman, he is tremendous.
Parker's bouncer wide of the net.
kind of a possession shot there, Dylan, with, getting under 6 minutes here. You don't want to give him a clean save in an outlet where Massapequa can run. So pretty high IQ there by Parker. Looks like McAtee has a shorty. See him trying to set up Black here to get downhill.
Here he is. Black! Might that, Tom, be the dagger for EI?
Yeah, I said get downhill. I mean, when he gets downhill, he is a big body moving. And you see this strong cradle, I mean, getting up on his toes. Look at the placement on that shot, too, to the back pipe. Really nice job.
He is a great story of perseverance and putting the hard work in. A guy who Zumo said, the offseason really changed and was an outstanding swimmer, right? But and he was always kind of between sports, right? Swimming and lacrosse. And he dedicated himself to lacrosse in the winter, never missed a workout, never missed a winter league game. And then the decision was made to find or to be a captain of this team, which speaks volumes to the work that Black has put in.
Yeah, you can see it. He's not just a lefty shooter. He's gone to his right a whole bunch. He's evolved his game. You don't hit corners like that without a lot of practice and putting in the time on your own. And, kudos to him for going out and making himself a better player.
And that goal, again, does have that feel, right? Like it's one that might be the decider right now. Certainly Massapequa's not going to quit. But a big hill to climb for the visitors from Nassau County. Parker to Kalinowski. What a great partnership those guys have. Kalinowski to Hannigan. And these are the passes as Parker, oh my goodness, look out in the stands.
That shot actually lifted the net. It hit the crossbar so hard that the net went up. The whole cage went up. I mean, Parker can bring it. And probably more importantly for Coach Zumo, it's a fresh shot clock.
Yep, resets to 60. And before that Black goal, I was going to ask you, almost, NHL-like, at what point do you now have Gennady come out as the extra defender?
Yeah, the pull the goalie in hockey, it's probably close to that time. East Islip, it would be a tough team to do it on when the ball's in the stick of Parker and Kalinowski and Black.
4 players with multiple goals for EI. As Madden gets the finish.
East Islip goal scored by number 1.
This is a great job by Madden. We talked about him just playing his role and handling the pressure. He gets a short stick here, and he's able to get him twisted in the corner, hides that stick well with behind his shoulder, and beats Gennady 5-hole. Yep.
9th goal of the year for Madden. And again, it's not a huge number, right? For East Islip, that's 12 goals. But 6 different guys have scored them.
Yeah, that's championship caliber teams do things like that, right? You have more than just a Ryan Parker, but you have a first midfield where it's pick your poison, and then other guys, Hannigan, and you get a pole goal with Weiss, and then you have the freshmen step up.
And East Islip is a goal away from hitting their season average. They average 13.8 goals per game. Goals against is 8. How about last year, right? In that 17-2 season when they won the Suffolk Beach Championship, the first one in program history, flag down. That year, Tom, they averaged 13 goals a game and 7.1 goals against. So consistency year over year, even if some of the personnel changes.
Yeah, and I was curious what this East Islip team was going to look like. We did them last year, and they had McAtee and some other seniors. And this iteration of East Islip is really, really good. Another team that's built to go win a championship.
Yeah, Blackfire's wide. To that point, right, McEntee a year ago, 34 goals and 50 assists, 276 career points. Became the 4th All-American in program history. Was the Ray Enners Award winner as the best player in Suffolk County. You had Matt Ferraro as well, right? He's now at BU, 26 goals and 15 assists. So that's a lot of offensive firepower that graduates. But as you can see, right, they just reload.
Yeah, and McEntee was one of those guys who did a lot in between the lines, playing D-Midi, and you could see Parker kind of see himself and say, hey, I'm going to fill that role. I'm going to be that guy for this team and do whatever it takes to win games. And, you know, and then obviously you get guys like Braden Black and Kalinowski get themselves better, and these freshmen coming on the scene and being able to play at a high level.
Well, that's all about being a really good program, right? Like, you could be a good team, but programs.
What a pass.
Yeah, and Black shoots it wide. They feed itself, right, year after year. Really good programs. And that's what EI is trying to get done here in Suffolk County.
And if you're Massapequa, this is a lesson learned kind of game. You know, they came out flat. They were sloppy in the clearing game and just couldn't really find a way to win a matchup. Another good feed by Hannigan.
That was McEntee with the shot.
But you saw a lot of fight out of Pequa here and stuff that they can build on. They obviously have a good defense and a great goalie. And offensively, they just have to make it count. You know, too many missed opportunities, passes a little high, shots just a little off the mark. You clean that up, and they have a chance to be right back in that championship game in Nassau County Class A.
Yeah, a year ago, what a rally against Syosset in the semifinals, and then they lost to their rivals, Farmingdale, as we are approaching the final minute of this one. And as you said, right, maybe them and Port. Of course, the Dalers are back-to-back champions.
Yeah, you can't count out the Dalers and Coach Don. They're always getting better as the season goes on, and there's another one.
Yeah, Kalinowski, little icing on top, or the cherry on top.
Did they get their average there? Does that get
They
them?
are on their average now. And we weren't tracking goals for possessions, but I'd imagine when Zumo goes to that film, he'll be pretty happy again.
Yeah, I would say if it wasn't for Giannotti in the cage, their efficiency would be that much higher. But as far as quality shots and running good offense, they were on it today. This is a very talented team.
They were coming off a 16-6 win over Smithtown West. Hannigan with 7 assists in that one. As we'll have our final timeout. But listen, Massapequa, they'll take the loss in this one, Tom, but, yeah. I mean, what a tradition-laced program. We take a look at some of those numbers, right? 11 county championships. We know one thing is for sure. There's not a lot of definites in life, but apparently when Massapequa makes or wins a Long Island championship, they're winning a state title.
Yep.
Because they've done it both times. You see the 19 All-Americans, and that's not including a terrific burger spot in town. And to see the career wins, right, approaching 700 for Massapequa.
Yeah, it really is one of the best programs. We talked about that in the beginning. It's a year in, year out contender and a great youth program. And we saw earlier today Coach Mollett, longtime Massapequa coach, grandson playing on Archbishop Spalding.
Yeah, Stephen Mollett. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him. They've had great coaches and great guys in that community that have built this program into a perennial powerhouse.
Yeah, you consider the All-Americans, right? The most recent one, Kenny Brower, in 2019, went on and played at Duke. Garrett Gibbons, Angelo Petrakis, we mentioned before, went on and played at Cornell. Brendan Nichtern, what a career he had at Army.
Yeah, tremendous.
Ryan Tierney at Hofstra for his dad. Craig Burge as well. Did some damage down at Georgetown.
Craig Burge was as good of a high school player as you'll ever see. He did everything.
He was one of my all-time favorite high school players.
Yeah, I coached against him, so I didn't love him the way you did, but he was fantastic.
And East Islip will just let this clock wind down. Bragging rights for the 6-3-1 and a non-league win for East Islip as they take this one 13-6. It's a good win for East Islip. They improved to 6-1. And Ryan Parker, what a day for him. Goes up high, 4-1 for Parker. A hat trick for Kalinowski. A pair of goals for Hannigan and Black. And the boys from EI celebrate a 6th consecutive win. Start the year with a loss to Wantagh, and they have rolled from that point on.
Yeah, they look the part. They look like a championship team. They're built to win. They got strong middies. Obviously a fantastic goalie. We didn't talk enough about their defense, but those guys played fantastic as well.
Well, they were below their average there.
There you go.
Only giving up 6 goals. For Massapequa, Pettis led the way, 2-2. Wieserak with a pair of goals. Rocco Spallina, 1-1. Tyler Burns with 1. And certainly once the scene shifts now to conference play, we'll see a lot more of Massapequa. They came in as the preseason number 1, and they should be right there as well, perhaps playing at Hofstra for that championship game. But here from Sal Ciampi Field at Boomer Esiason Stadium, we bid you adieu as we close things out. Our executive producer, Ben Turchin, Becca Kazaks, our technical director, Tony DeMasso, and Kevin Catalanato, bringing you all the moving images. For my broadcast partner, Tom Rooney, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from East Islip High School. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.